Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Glowing Card Sports. Been having some audio issues. I kind of bent the jack a little bit, so I think I'm probably going to order a new extension for this guy. Luckily, it's something I just put on the end of the jack that this one's on. So it's like almost like an extension jack. So I'll get it taken care of. Currently, looks like everything's working. Just during the last little bit of the last podcast where I was just recording, it kept cutting out. So I don't know how this is going to go. But I already kind of went over 3 or 4 of the picks. So let's just do over. 1st and 10 from our own 25. Okay. So last week went great. If you didn't see the review, go watch it. I'll get better at it. There's some dead air here and there where I'm looking things up and trying to figure some stuff out, but I'll get there. This week we're just going to go through week 15 picks, and I'm telling you right now, this week is going to be so much more difficult to pick. I'm not even sure. Well, let's just get into it. We'll get to week 1, and we'll go through it. So you're going to hear some stuff, I think, in this one when we get to the Broncos-Lions matchup that you'll probably hear again in my podcast for Broncos Week 14 and upcoming Lions. So you'll get kind of a little bit of that again. So let's get into these coin tosses, and we'll try and figure it out. Now, normally a lot of the time, I'm going to take the points. It's just so much of an advantage to take the points, really, overall. And a lot of the games, and especially last week, that's kind of what I did. I just took the points, and it worked out really well. Not in every case, excuse me, but in most cases. So we'll get into it again here. And we'll start with the Thursday night game, the LA Chargers at the Las Vegas Raiders. And what a snooze fest this game is going to be, guys. I mean, the under-over set at 33.5. I would take the under. Man. It's crazy because like 2 weeks ago, the Chargers put up 6 versus New England. It was 6-0, right? And they didn't do well there that week, and then they laid a big stinkoid egg against the Broncos this last week. So the Chargers really don't seem to be that good, but the Raiders, same boat. I mean, they were shut out, scoreless, for the entire game last week versus the Vikings. The Vikings only scored 3. What a snoozer. And 2 weeks ago, I think the Raiders lost as well, and they didn't look very good doing it. So, I mean, personally, I think this one kind of is a coin toss. I think these two teams pretty much evenly matched. This, who knows? That's why you play the games, right? Who knows what will happen in this matchup? I mean, it could go either way. You could have like a combined 12 touchdown game, and it ends up being like 45, 40, 42 or something ridiculous. Do I think that's going to happen? No. Is this more likely one of the AFC Classic matchups where combined they get about 10 field goals or 9, 15-12, 12-9, something like that? Yeah, that's what I think. So I'm going to take the Chargers +3. Now remember, because I have a feeling this is going to come into play, especially in this game. Tie goes to runner. This guy. We made that rule last week. Because now, in the past 2 weeks, the way they've set the points, usually they always set it at half a point. So it's really weird that they're all of a sudden they're setting even points. So, whatever. But I'm going to take the Chargers +3. Then we go to Sunday morning, and we have the Vikings at the Bengals. Now, the Vikings managed to put up just 3 points versus the Raiders team we just talked about, who put up 0. The Bengals won last week, looking good doing it. Put up a bunch of points. Normally, I would just take the points, but I just can't do it. These are 2 ships passing in the night. One of them's taken off, 2 planes passing in the night. One of them's taken off, one of them's crashing on the runway. And the Bengals are taking off, and the Vikings are crashing. So I'm going to take the Bengals -3.5. So then you have Pittsburgh Steelers at the Indianapolis Colts. And you kind of have the exact same situation here. Steelers crashing down onto the runway, Colts kind of starting to take off. And if you asked me, and I know the teams are AFC, NFC in the last one. If you asked me if the Vikings or the Bengals were going to make the playoffs, I would say the Bengals. I don't think the Vikings are going to make the playoffs at this rate. So then we have the Steelers at the Colts. Same thing. I'm going to go ahead and take the Colts -2.5 in that one. So, yeah, it's the same. I'll take the Colts -2.5. Now we get to the game. Wait a minute. That's Sunday? Wait, the 16th? Is that... Hold on. Okay, so we have the 14th, which is Thursday. 15th, 16th is... Oh, they're Saturday games. Whoops. Excusing me. So I guess the Broncos are going to play the Lions on a Saturday. Saturday is just all right. Just all right. So nobody's... Even Vegas is not taking the Broncos seriously. I'll take the points all day long. You're going to give the Broncos 5 points. You're going to make them 5-point dogs, the Lions, who looked awful the past 2 weeks. Straight awful. And the Broncos, who almost beat the Texans even. In that it could literally be a 7-game winning streak right now. If that last play of the Broncos-Texans game went a little differently and the Broncos actually threw a touchdown pass there, Denver wins that game. That's a 6-game winning streak. They beat the Chargers this last week, 7. Right? That's a coin toss against the Texans. And the Texans lost big time. And the Broncos keep knocking out starting quarterbacks. So all the starting quarterbacks out there really need to watch their back and pay attention and stay safe out there. Get rid of the ball fast. I don't care if you have to throw it away. Don't get injured. If you look at, the Browns starting quarterback injured. The Bills starting quarterback injured versus Denver last week. The Chargers starting quarterback injured. Texas starting quarterback injured. They are putting the hurt. This defense is no joke. No joke. And the offense is good enough. They're going to give you 25 points around there. And most people are like, well, the offense is going to score like 20 to 22, 23 points somewhere there. They scored 29. I think it was 3 weeks ago. Granted, the defense scored the last two, but it was 27 that the offense scored. They've been putting up pretty good numbers. It's more than the low 20s. They can hit you with the mid or upper 20s. I'm betting they can even hit 30, which they might do this week because the Lions, I don't think their D is that good. I guess we're going to see. But again, this could be a 7-game winning streak coming in. And the Lions, they blew a game versus, who was it, the Pats last week? The Jets? I mean, it was a team that they aren't winning games. They suck. And the Lions managed to not only lose, but lose pretty convincing. Like, it wasn't even close. I mean, I mean, yeah, I think they were minus 3 points last week. Yep, that's what they were, and couldn't even win the game, much less minus 3. You're gonna give me a minus 5. This Denver team was better than the team they faced last week and couldn't win the game. Denver wins this game, period. There is no debate. Denver wins this game. Give me 5 points on top of that. Smoke you later. Sorry, we're getting into new territory from the last video. I can't believe they're giving the Broncos 5 point. They're 5-point underdogs in this game. That's a joke. That is a absolute joke. Now we're getting into more coin toss areas because the way I've seen things going down, the Bears won last week, and they are not that good of a team. And they're going against Cleveland, who has been improving. So I'm not really sure how to do this one. This is truly a coin toss. Browns are favored by 3. Respectable. I think that's about where the line should be. The Bears have been kind of on the rise somewhat. I think people have counted them out. Not that the Bears are going to make the playoffs. I mean, at best, if they won out, they'd be 9-5. They're not going to make the playoffs. Not in that NFC. I'm sorry. Against the Browns. Browns are at home. God, I hate to take the Bears, but this is such a coin toss, and I really don't know how else to do it. So the points are such an advantage, at least this year. I'm going to take the Bears plus 3. And then we got these are all Sunday games. This is December 17th. We got the New York Jets at the Miami Dolphins. Miami's favored by 8.5. Jets put up 30 last week. I don't know what's going on in New York with either the Giants or the Jets, but they both have turned on the afterburners at the same time. For me, this is kind of an easier one. I think the Dolphins, I don't know. I think this is a lot tighter of a game. I think the Dolphins probably win this game. But do they do it by 8.5? No. 3 weeks ago, sure, I think they do. But the way things have been going, the Dolphins have not been playing well. The Jets are playing lights out. Give me the Jets 8.5. And we got the New York Giants at the New Orleans Saints. Kind of the same situation. I'm not as sure what to do here, so I'm going to take the points. I'm going to say the Giants by 6.5. Oh, excuse me. 6. Let's not short ourselves. Giants by 6. Saints are favored by 6. Okay. Now here's one that's interesting. We got the Kansas City Chiefs at the New England Patriots. And the Patriots just beat the Steelers, who I thought were a fairly good team. And the Pats are supposedly one of the worst teams in the league right now. And yet they came back and not come back. They beat the Steelers well and good. They improved to 3-10 with that win. The Chiefs, they probably should have won last week versus the Bills, but I kind of had that game called. I knew they weren't going to beat Green Bay. Kansas City, I'm going to go with another shocker here. I am not sure Kansas City beats New England. I'm going to say the Chiefs probably win this game, but it's going to be a hard-fought victory. Boy, Taylor Swift better be in attendance because Kelsey's going to need her bad. And I'm going to take the Patriots at 9.5. I just don't think the Chiefs. I mean, the under over is 37.5 points. That's not a lot of points. If they were thinking Kansas City was going to score 30 or 40 and the under over was around 55, 60 points, I might think about that 9.5 a little bit more. But at 37.5, New England probably going to get 21 points here. I mean, they're going to hit the over, I think, between these two teams. But do the Chiefs win by 9.5? No. Nope. Give me the Pats plus 9.5. All right. Going well, I think, overall. Here's a tougher one to call. The Buccaneers and the Packers. I don't know how to read the Pack with their loss last week in a game I thought they should have won. And the Bucs winning last week. I almost think this is a coin toss again. I mean, the Pack probably win by 3, but they're favored by 3.5. So I'm going to take the Bucs here at 3.5. I like the points. Give me the points. That's probably going to be how it works. We got Houston minus, Houston's plus 2.5 versus the Tennessee Titans, who just won and beat the Miami Dolphins last night, and they did it. Tennessee turned it over about mid fourth quarter, and we're down 14. And then drove down, got a 2-point conversion. We're down 6. Stopped them 3 and out. Drove down and scored the game-winning touchdown with about a minute something left. They left a ton of time on the clock, but Miami couldn't do anything with it when they got it back. So, and Houston really laid a big egg last week minus 2.5 for Tennessee. I don't think that's a lot of points, and it's definitely not enough. I'll take the Titans 2.5. And then we got the Atlanta Falcons at the Carolina Panthers. Falcons -3 at Carolina, until Carolina shows me they can win a game and do it, and even keep it close. I mean, the Panthers are getting blown out every week. Give me the Falcons -3 on the road. I think that one might actually be the lock of the week, really. If I had to choose one that I was going to put money on, it'd probably be that one. Washington Commanders at the LA Rams. LA is favored by 6.5. Oh boy, you know how I love points. And these two teams kind of evenly matched. I know the records aren't really showing that so much, but I think the gameplay does. 6.5. I'll take the Commanders with the points, 6.5 there. Now we have the 49ers at the Arizona Cardinals. The Niners are favored by 13.5. It's a lot of points, but they covered last week. They covered it, I think, 10.5 versus Seattle. And the Cardinals are not near as good as Seattle. It should be a double-digit win for the Niners. 13.5. I know that's a lot of points. If I'm going to risk a game this week, this is going to be it. And I don't think it's a huge risk, but it is somewhat of a risk. I'm going to take the Niners -13.5. Shocking. Two touchdowns. But there are two teams that are scoring a lot of points right now. The Niners and the Cowboys. They're both just lights out phenomenal in their scoring. So we haven't even gotten to the Cowboys yet. Let's see what the points will be for that game as well. Speaking of, we have the Dallas Cowboys at the Buffalo Bills. Bills fighting for their playoff life. Dallas just putting up monster numbers, Madden type numbers. I can't believe Buffalo's favored. Give me the Cowboys 2.5 in this one. That might be the lock of the week. Holy crap. Plus 2.5 versus the Bills? All day long I'll take the Cowboys. This year. They got it going on. Yeah. Let's see here. We got the Baltimore Ravens at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Ravens are favored by 3.5. You know what? I think the Ravens may be due for a loss at Jacksonville. Just kind of feels that way. I think the Ravens are going to get the 1 seed. They probably win out after this week. But I'll take the Jags plus 3.5. Yeah, sure. Why not? Sure. Why not? It's only money. No, I'm just kidding. It's only points. All right. Brings us to the Monday night game on the 18th. So we have the Philadelphia Eagles at the Seattle Seahawks. The Eagles are favored by 4. Just 4. Interesting. Just sitting here thinking about like the Eagles were slated for the 1 seed, and they're now second in the NFC East. They've kind of laid an egg in the last few games. I don't know if they get it done. Well, this is another one I don't know how to go. When I don't know how to go on a game, I'm going to take the points. So I think this is really a toss-up. But I can't go for the Eagles -4. I just on the road, not playing well in Seattle with the 12th man. Seattle's hungry for a win. Who knows what'll happen? Give me Seattle +4 in that one. I am really not sure about that one at all. And we've reached the end of another lovely picking session, or another lovely week of picking versus the points and the point spread. Yeah, that's it. That was a tough one. Really, if I go 500 this week, I think I'll be happy with that. How many games are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All 16 games? So everybody's playing. There are no more buys, I guess. We're out of buys. We have no more buys to give. All right, guys. That's it for this round. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy the picks and a little bit of analysis of who I think is going to win and why. We'll see how I do this time next week. I'll have another video for you with the results coming at you next week. Again, thank you for joining me, your host Adam, on Glowing Card Sports. As always, be good to each other, and I'll see you next time. Have a good week.